Tsunami Studios. The Mosquito Coast. That's right, Apple TV. I love them. I love everything they do. Probably my favorite subscription service right now when it comes to television. They did a remake. Yay! Finally, they've reached the rest of us remaking stuff, not doing original content anymore. So a movie from the 80s or something, a story that was a book based on a thing, based on this, based on that. Apple remade it. Justin Theroux. That guy who made The Leftovers incredible. That guy who did a lot of other crap. Justin Theroux, he is leading his own story this time around. And you know what? It's a really interesting idea. I think Mosquito Coast is Apple's attempt of saying, oh yeah, no, we can make our own Ozark. We know how to do that. We'll take a property that exists already. We kind of own this, so let's just reboot it. And I get that. Like, I do it too. If you saw Ozark, you're like, that was critically acclaimed. That took a funny actor, made him serious. Let's do that. That's kind of what this is. Now, that's where the line stops. Like, the family moves away because of certain events that the father did. That's pretty much all they're related to. And then the story kind of becomes like seeing this family travel across their home country into Mexico to escape the law for something that their father did. It's okay. It's a really solid story. I won't say it like blew me away, but it also didn't need to. Like, I knew exactly the tone and the feel that this was going for, and that was just like, we're gonna build up the tension, we're gonna make you uncomfortable in certain scenes, and we're gonna feel stressed out for this family. And it did a good job of that. I don't think anything in that term really felt off. Every time, like, they tried to build the tension was built. Every time that scene got dramatic or scary, it worked really well. That being said, there's certain beats where I thought it was just like predictable, slow, and maybe it didn't need to be as long as it was. Like 7 episodes, that's pretty solid. I won't fault it for that. Maybe 6, a tight 6 episodes could have benefited this a lot better. But it's not that bad. I think it's better that it was 7 than 8. That's kind of cool to see. It flowed really well for the most part, and I gotta say, I was really impressed with the use of, like, the camera, because the way the camera worked, there's a lot of great aerial shots and just, like, long, wide shots, which looked really nice, but the way the camera flowed, it was very static, and it didn't, like, move that much or do anything crazy, but the way, like, it would pan or zoom or everything, it just added some dramatic tension to the way the story was being told, and I liked seeing that a lot. It added just that extra little bit to make me go, oh yeah, this is definitely different than some other stuff. It's not like so jarring or abrasive. It's just more like if we just slowly pan closer to the actor or we pan away in this wide shot, it just adds that dramatic flair that gives the scene that extra bit of tension that I think a lesser talent would be like, no, we're going to get up close and personal. The wider you make it look, the more intense and like scary it becomes, because you realize we are in a really vast empty area. There's something really scary about that. I thought that was a really cool use of that stuff. It looks really great. Now, the family itself are 4 leads, you know, the husband, the wife, the 2 kids. Classic tropey stuff with that many people, but it was fine. Justin Theroux plays Ali Fox, I think is his name. He did okay. You know, I like Justin Theroux. He's a very interesting talent that, you know, he either does something really well that you're like, this is cool, or he's like, yeah, that's fine. Good for you, man. Here, he did pretty good. I think he could really hold his own as a lead. He just really hasn't been, like, given the chance in a movie, but this and The Leftovers, the guy really knows how to act, and I think that's really cool. He plays a really interesting type of character in here that I think a lot of people would be like, okay, this could get annoying fast, and it does sometimes. Like, it doesn't, like, lose interest in that character. You're like, I see it. Yeah, you're like against the government. You're like living off the land. You know, all this stuff. You're willing to play all sides to get your family out on top. It's kind of cool. And it's interesting to see that. Melissa George is the wife. She was fine. I really think towards the end of the show, she really picked up and did some more interesting stuff. The kids themselves, yeah, the standard kids, you know, was it Gabriel Bateman? Is that his name? Jason Bateman's nephew, I think. His first leading acting role. Yeah, kid's royalty, so might as well put him in there, get him started in a career that he's going to be able to live off of because of his namesake. Is it Logan Polish? Was that the name of the daughter? She did pretty good. You know, I think, like, surprisingly, in all these kind of adaptations or products, it's like the younger daughter character that really becomes like the breakout, that standout character. She did pretty good. I think she held her own well for like all the people around her. She was very compelling. She felt like a realistic teenager, which is something I always like to see in this kind of stuff. So I can't be mad about that. And I like that she kind of questions her father, like, why are we doing this? Like, what did you actually do that makes us come here? And, you know, they give you hints throughout the show as to everything Allie did to get them in this situation. I like that. You know, when it's, like, the certain revelations come into play, you're like, yeah, okay, I see. I see the kind of person this is. It's fine. I think that it just did, yeah, okay. I see what you're going for. I don't think this is as good as Ozark. It's pretty close, but it just doesn't have that feeling, which I know I say that's what it's going for. I don't know if that's actually what it was going for, but it feels like an Ozark thing, and that's fine. Something I will commend the show for that, like, I think like a lesser talent wouldn't have done is presenting like the border getting to Mexico in a positive light. I think like a lesser creator would have easily have just made like Mexico, the country, the concept, the character into the antagonistic thing where it's like, this isn't somewhere we want to be going to flee our country, but we are forced here and we hate every second of it. It's more like, we need to go here because there's opportunity and chances that we can take that will help us out, which is kind of nice to see because don't villainize that country. You don't need to. So the fact that they didn't, I was like, good. You don't have to do that. You're doing a smart thing here by making it look like this. I have to commemorate it for that. That was a pretty cool thing to see. It's a standard show. You know, if you like your suspenseful, tension-rising thrillers, it's a pretty good, solid 7 episodes. And I'm glad it's getting a season 2. I really am, because I'd like to see this story continue. I like to see these characters and these leads find new opportunities in this world. Kind of excited. And it was just like a solid little presence where I'm like, yeah, I could watch more of this. I could enter this world and have a good time. I'm not complaining. The camera work is fantastic. The cinematography is fantastic. The acting is pretty good. It's just your really standard fare for this type of genre piece, which I know some people are going to eat this stuff up and some people are going to be like, oh, it's a dime a dozen. I'm somewhere in the middle of that where I see the genuine, interesting story being told here and like the brilliant camera work. The narrative you are telling is unique enough where I'm impressed with it. But I'm also like, yeah, you know, the family of 4 struggling to make it out on their own. The dad's anti-government showing the world's that. We have a lot of those, and it can become very redundant at times. And I think in an era where everything gets made on streaming, the Mosquito Coast hasn't found its footing to be something above redundancy, but it could get there because we are getting a season 2. So I can't fault it for that. Good job on being a thing that exists. So, the Mosquito Coast, season number 1, I am going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck. Never trust anyone over 30.